Hey everyone, this is Tony with another live stream of my E3D ToolChanger. Let's see here, before people really join, hopefully somebody joins, I don't know. Want to thank E3D for letting me be in the beta. Want to thank Duet 3D for sponsoring it, Illustrator for helping out some, everybody who donated, all the Railcore community as a whole. You guys are a great community, and it's pretty awesome to be a part of. Never expected it to happen, so it's very cool. Anyway, I'm working on my ToolChanger tonight. Hey, Chris. Been working on this the last couple days. So, quick update on why there was this huge break. It's been a few months. I've been very busy with my real job. 3D printing is still only hobby for me. Yeah, so exciting day. I might actually get a first print. So 3D printing is just a hobby. I can only do it in free time, work around job, family, that kind of thing. So my job, I switched jobs last October, has been very busy. In addition, I rushed this ToolChanger to get it ready for Tony at Duet for Murph. And it worked, but I was having some problems. It turned out to be I had missed a bolt on the ToolChanger's servo, so it was dropping tools. They fixed that. He also, in the process, blew away the firmware and put new firmware on, and it was working about 1 out of 50 tool exchanges. It would drop them. The other 49 out of 50, it was good, and I could not find it, so I got kind of frustrated. Was waiting on E3D to release some updates. They're going away from a servo to a stepper. Can you guys hear me okay, or am I just talking? So E3D's changing out some parts, and I was just going to wait on that, and then cool. So I was talking to Roy's son recently, and he said, here, let me send you my config. Maybe it'll help. He sent me his config, and sure enough, when we reset the configuration at Murph, we had changed one of the values for the servo. I changed that value, and it started working. And I've done hundreds of tool changes now. I let it run for an hour straight, just swapping tools repeatedly, and didn't drop any. So I went, hey, I'm going to make this thing work. So I've been working on it pretty regularly the last week. Steps I've taken, I got the bed mapped out, got all the tools extruding plastic and spitting out some plastic, got the macros cleaned up, rigged up a wire brush here this afternoon, got a cleaning macro going, leveled the bed, all of that good stuff. So it's close. The lesson I'm learning is you have to do everything 4 times. And then what you do on the 4th one might break the 1st one. So you got to do it 4 more times to validate everything. I used a USB microscope, this awesome little thing. 20 bucks on Amazon, put it on the bed, lined up over it, and did my nozzle offsets today. So that worked pretty well. So I think I'm ready to print. When I say I think, hang on a second. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. We're getting the couch delivered tomorrow, and they have to call right now. So when I say I think I'm ready to print with this, I literally got the cleaning macro done about 5 minutes, if that, before I started the live stream. I have not tested this at all. You can see there's one spool of filament sitting here, and it's not even loaded. I haven't really tested a lot of this. So yeah, David, the USB microscope is absolutely the way to go for the offsets. I got to change the chat to the live chat. Hey, wow, there's a lot more people here. Hey, everybody. YouTube defaulted to top chat and was showing me 3 people. This is entirely untested, and I actually hit a problem right before I started the live stream. But I said 7:30, so I started at 7:30. So what happened, I was testing my cleaning macro with tool 0. So this is tool 0 here, closest to you. After I cleaned, scrubbed on the brush, I just unloaded the tool, and tool 0 fell off of its dock. So I need to retest that. And I'm not going to be able to see the chat while I do it because it's in the same web browser. Let's see here. So I need to go, the way this works, I'm going to type in T0 in the duet, which is going to tell it go pick up tool 0. And it jogs over. Can you guys see that? Okay. As part of my tool 0 postscript, then I have it do a quick scrub. I need to change that postscript so it jogs over and then does the scrub rather than coming across at an angle, but that's not bad. And then it would resume printing. So there's the demo of how picking up a tool works. So let's see if dropping off this tool works. I'm gonna put my arm up here. It pulled it part way out. That was not as much of a drop off as I would want it to do. Let's try that again. So I'm going to grab tool 0. Scrub, scrub, scrub. And then I'm going to drop off tool 0. That's why I was playing catch. So for some reason, it's now decided to drop tool 0. That's not cool. So I'm going to try T1 and see if it does the same thing. And T-1 to drop off the tool. Nope, tool 1 was good. So there's something about tool 0 it's not happy with now. Tool 2. Oh, that'll be fine. Yeah, I'm going to run through each of the tools and then I'll check tool 1. If it's just tool 1, it's got to be the dock. If it's more of them, I don't know. Okay. It's kind of funky that, Chris, I will ban you. It's kind of funky that it's only having an issue with tool 0. Yeah, so let's do tool 0 again. That is so smooth. You think it's the shims, Roy? Let me look at it here. I'm going to move your guys' view so you can see it a little closer. Sorry for the nausea-inducing move there. How's that view? I'm trying to see it. Let's see what I can do for it. There we go. So now you got a view of it, and I'll watch close. Yeah, it's moving tool 1 as it picks it up. It's strange that that changed. Literally hundreds of pickups and drops, and now it's decided to be finicky. Okay, well, no idea if you guys can see anything now. Let's see. Let's adjust that. So. No, the wire loom hasn't changed. I haven't moved in. I mean, that's been there consistent this whole time. I do have more shims, so I can easily try that. Let me grab a set of shims. I'll be right back. Sorry, I have shims. No, it's not the box I thought it was. Not in that box. So they must be in here, hopefully. They are not. Where are my shims? This could be a terrible live stream if I don't have those. I've got them here somewhere. I just got to find them. As you can see, I'm insanely well organized. So what's the worst that could happen? Trying to think of where I could have put them. Don't think they're in Dragonstone. Oh yeah, I got to put the socks on all of the other hot ends too. Haven't done that yet. I'm gonna do that while I'm thinking about it. While I'm thinking of where my shims could be. So while I'm doing this, anybody have any questions about the ToolChanger, the rail core, anything else? I'm happy to chat printers while I work. And Roy, if you're wondering, yes, I did not remember to switch out the fan in this ToolChanger's power supply. That's the Meanwhile PSU's fan, and it is loud and annoying. I do not like where they put the filament spools at all. That's obviously a personal opinion, and they have the reasons for doing things the way they do. It keeps it a nice, tidy footprint. I get it. I just don't like it. Okay, so what's interesting is tool 1 is the only one that had a sock. Or tool 0. Maybe that's the difference. So let's try the other tools and just make sure. Hang on, before I do that, I'm going to try tool 1. I can't believe putting on the sock would have done it, but the only two things I did were add the cleaning and the sock. So T-1. Okay, it's not the sock. Okay, you want me to loosen these bolts. I can do that. I'll get the right... Okay, they're loosened. Jog over to where I would pick it up. Okay, just a second. Can't see anything because I have a billion messages that the tool was not driven because it was not hot, which I know. Okay. Notepad open here, and I'll create a macro to jog over to it and grab it. Just in case we have to do this multiple times. Okay, got a new macro, everything in there down to where it would lock. Okay, move the dock around some. Seems pretty happy. Nope. Tighten it down. Okay, that's not too tight. Back this one off a little bit. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to do a y minus 50. Hey, it stayed on. So let's try T0. -1. No bueno. Let me try something, just out of curiosity. I'm going to remove the cleaning macro. From the post command. I could open the right file. Commented out my cleaning macro T0. Okay, I'm going to drop it, and then if it doesn't work, I'll slow it down. Sorry, I can't see you guys chatting when I'm... Okay, so it's something about the cleaning. Why would that change anything? I mean, obviously it's shifting it somehow or something. And I'll change that down to half the speed. The bronze ramp insert. Oh. No, it's seated all the way. I do wish they brought those magnets forward a little bit. Okay, let me try it with the slower speed. I'll put the cleaning macro back in. And now we'll drop it. Hey, that was better. I didn't knock any tools into anything. I didn't crash anything before this. Let's slow that down just a little bit more. That was a close catch. Okay, I think I need to shim it. It looks like it's dropping. I'm definitely seeing that, so I just got to find my shims. I can add a pause in there. Let me find these shims. I know they're around here. I just got to think of where. It's been, 5 months or whatever, 3 months since Murph, right? So I would have had them then. They really should have been in here. Definitely are not. They're not in here that I saw. My nice little box of miscellaneous E3D parts. This is actually a nozzle kit. This is everything you get when you buy a V6 kit. I'll show you that. I showed that in other the build videos, but they accidentally sent me a spare one of those and let me keep it, so that was nice. Then I have this box. Hey, that's funny. I have a spare fan. Since the bag of shims would have come in. Hey, look, shims. They were in the box I looked in the first time. I just didn't see them. Okay. The shims. Somebody didn't watch my build videos. The shims are little pieces of metal. They are very, very thin to much, much thicker. Still not terribly thick, but you just use them to raise and lower the tool. The shims won't be in the production one, but they are in the beta kits, is what I understand. So the question is, I'll just put in one like medium shim. It's always hard to tell which ones are the thin and the medium. That is definitely the thickest one. That's thick. These all feel about the same. I think they are all about the same. So I'll put in one of those. Where did I put that out? Probably. Okay. Kind of hate the shims. I'm glad to hear they won't be in the production version. I hope we can design the rail core so it does not need something similar, but the level of precision in a rail core build is probably nowhere near the level of precision in an E3D build, so I'm skeptical we'll get away without something. And that's no fun, but that's reality. So I'll put in, Roy, you think just one of the cheap, the thinnest ones? I don't seem to have a medium one. Okay. This is really the only pain of shims, is getting the bolt down through them. Not too bad this time. Okay, I gotta find be right back. I've got something, a tool on my desk. One of our rail core builders, I can't remember his name, was awesome and gave me this nice little driver set, and it is really nice. So I can't remember who it was, but thank you again for that. I know, I'm terrible. Okay, so I'm gonna loosen that up a bit. That was probably a bit much. And I'll run my macro like I was picking it up. Oh. Well, that's no good. Not sure how I did that. Is that totally turned? How did I pull that off? I'm like 5 millimeters off. I bumped an X or something. We're just going to rehome. Okay, now I'll rerun that macro. 0, yes. Nope. It missed again. I must have it too loose. I think what's happening, it's sagging a little bit because it's too loose. No, it's not. Yeah, I'll have to manually move it in, but I have this a little too loose. Yeah, way too loose. So it was hanging down, and I crashed into it. Now that time I might have pushed that brass plate in. I'm going to modify that script. I'm going to run it. And that left me 10 millimeters out from it, and now I'm just going to jog in the last 10. And I'll watch it as I do. So how am I looking? It's looking better now. Still good. Okay. Out of alignment. I'm really pretty far to the right overall on this dock. Probably be a little bit to the left there, but yeah, I'm too far to the right. Just a tad. So if I move too far. So I'm moving in tenths of a millimeter here and just comparing. And I just looked to make sure that bearing, yep, there we go. So where am I on X? 4.5. Okay, so I'm going to update that. Sorry, I can't see the chat. Hang on, I'll check it in a second. Should just be 2 lines here where I adjust that. I believe. Yeah, I just adjusted the pickup and drop off scripts to adjust to the new location. It was off to the right some once I realigned things, so I probably just shifted it when I put back on. Okay. Now I'm going to adjust my macro for testing it to the same value. So I'm changing it from negative 3.8 to negative 4.5. And I'm going to run that get, which will move it within 10 millimeters. And now I will jog in the last 10 slowly. 2, 3. That looks really good. So, going to edit my system file. I'm going to comment out the cleaning again, and I'm going to test it just like that. So that's tpost0.g. Just take the nozzle scrub script out by commenting it. Save. Okay. I'm going to jog a little in X just to vary it up some. And we're going to drop it off. Wow, that was clean. That was probably one of my cleanest drop-offs I've done. Hey, John. Okay, so let's put that scrub back in. And after this experience, I may go through and realign the others. Probably not in this video since they're working right now, but might be worthwhile. Let's see how this goes, though. So, John, what you've missed so far is right before I started the video, I found that if I cleaned tool 0, it would drop it. So I have now adjusted things, so hopefully that doesn't happen. So there's my awesome clean script. Very fancy. And now we'll do a T-1. Clean as a whistle. Just needed a shim. So you got here just in time. That was perfect. Whew. Okay, Roy, do you think I should go through and test all the others before I try and print, or do you think they seem okay? All right, they haven't dropped in quite a while, so let's see. I gotta be honest. I didn't look exactly. What's the worst that can happen? That's my my philosophy on things. Okay, so I didn't really look at how E3D. Greg is going to love this when he sees this video. I didn't look at how they ran their filament feed tubes at all. So I literally grabbed chunks of PTFE I had laying around, and here I'll show you guys. They're just short little bits of PTFE running to my extruders. It's very fancy. So I have 2 over here, 2 over here, and filament sits on the side there. I don't know if I'm supposed to, like, there's a couple attachment points here. I don't know what those are for. I didn't see any indication of what their intent was. Didn't make a lot of sense. So we're going to run with it like this. I don't think it's going to cause any problems during the print. Okay, what do I need to do? I need the home. I need to do a quick mesh map of the bed. I need to preheat everything. I need to load in some filament. And then I need to print a file that I sliced with no preparation whatsoever other than, hey, this will probably work. That's just a modified railcore profile. Steve messaged me. He says he wishes he could join the live stream, but couldn't. So no Steve tonight. What am I missing, Roy? What am I forgetting? I think that's it. So the first thing I need to do is preheat. Oh, so this brings up some interesting fun I've had yesterday and today. Everything on this has been one step forward, two steps back. The latest one was I put firmware version 203 on. I know I'm an idiot for running the latest firmware, but it's released, so I thought, hey, it'll be good. And it caused some problems. The first one is when you pick up a tool, the pickup works fine. It moves in, it locks the servo, pulls out, everything's good. You go to drop off the tool, it moves in, moves out, then unlocks the servo, moves over and smashes your tool into the other tool and drops it. For some reason, on the unlock scripts only, it doesn't unlock the servo until the end of the script. So that was bug one. What was the second bug? The second bug was, oh, so yeah, this is the one, this is why I brought this up. M116 appears to be totally broken in 203. So it would, I'm testing with nothing set at temperature. It would grab the first one, drop it off, go to the second one, run the M116 to test temperatures are where they should be, and then it just hung. My Duet was dead. I had to shut it off and turn it back on. So that wasn't fun. So those have been reported, and then there's a bug with M208 and leveling, but that's different. Less critical. So the reason I bring that up, I've got to run a script now to bring the bed up to temp, and all the tools up to temp. So I'll do that now, and I have to remember not to burn myself. While that's heating up, I have 4 spools of filament. I'll just grab some random colors here. So I got some atomic gold. That's some blue on there now, so that'll look nice together. Not even sure which one's supposed to feed in where. And this filament is a pain to feed in here. I don't understand what they're doing with this, but they have their reasons, I think. This will not be how it works in a rail core. We don't have room inside our printer for anything, let alone 4 spools of filament, so that's not a worry. Feeding the filament into the extruders sucks on this. I don't know. Let's see, I have some white here. I'll use that. Where'd my snips go? I've never been one to care about the thermostatic fan setting. I've always been a fan of plugging the fans into the always-on ports and calling it a day for the hot end fans. Well, let me tell you, when you get 4 of these V6 fans running plus the Meanwhile fan running all at once, I kind of wish I had the, I'm glad I have the thermostatic fans, and I wish they were just silent. They get really annoying. I need another spool of filament here. That's good. I have one around. Throw in some Midwest Rep Fest green here for the last one. If you weren't at Murph, you missed out. Atomic gave out free spools of filament. And that's what this one is. Seriously, terrible design on these PTFE feed tubes. I don't understand. Maybe I have them too short, maybe I have them too long. I really don't know. That's gonna unspool. And I gotta feed in the blue. Okay. Well, Jeff, I set up the always on with the rail core by default so that if somebody melts down their hot end, it's not my fault. You can't get an always on fan wrong. You should power on your printer. If the fan spins, you're good. Change it to thermostatic fans if you want to. It's your own problem. I don't have my printers on when they're not printing very often. So, okay, Roy, what's the, let's see, it's a T0, P0 to engage, or to engage the extruder for tool 0 without actually picking up the tool. Cool. So T0, P0. Okay, got that picked up. What's giving me a million warnings still? Let's see. I have no idea how far I need to feed the filament in order to load it in here. Well, we're gonna find out. So it's this one. Seriously terrible. Did I mention that? Okay. Should be spitting out filament by now, I would think. Gotta be close. That's the temp. There it goes. There we go. So that one's good. T minus 1, P0, and T1, P0. So I have filament coming out of extruder 0. That's good. Also, hi, Jeff. Let's see here. So I need to push this in. At some point, I'll set up a macro to do all this for me, but, you know. There we go. Whoops, that was too far. We'll see if the Bondtech will extrude anywhere. Yep, it's extruding fine. Love the Bondtech, makes up for my mistakes. Okay. So then a T-1, P0. T2, P0. You can see that, I don't know, everything about this thing just takes so much longer. Load filament 4 times. Hey, Steve did make it. Oh, that's true. Taking a couple keystrokes. Okay, so I got that one set, which is this guy. That's odd. That sounded, well, that's the wrong one anyway, but that sounded jammed right off. Huh. That's no good. Let's see what happened there. Got a little bit into this blue and it jammed. That had happened to me the other day with that blue as well. Hopefully I don't have the same thing because I had to take a Bondtech apart and pry it apart. Let's see. Nope, that worked. Cool. So I'm trying to look through and see if I can tell where it's made it to, and I cannot yet. So I don't think it's that far. There it is. And I can't see the chat again. Whenever I'm working with the ToolChanger, I just have the one laptop, so I can't see the chat. That's extruding, so that's good. Is that one? And okay, so last one. This is one that jammed on me the other day, but it's already past that point, so that's good. Okay, so I'm right here. All right, Chris. Yeah, I'm about to hit print, so sorry about that. Thanks for joining us. Okay. Before I print, I need to run a grid probe now that the bed is hot. I had tool 3 selected when I did that, so I unselected tool 3. So the Z probe is kind of awesome. Here, I'll show you. It's really cool. It is, sorry for the nausea. Don't know if you can see it. It is a micro switch. So the beauty is, when you don't have a hot end in the way, you can just attach a micro switch to the carriage, probe the bed as fast as you want. So I'm going to do a G29 now while I talk. And you get micro switch level accuracy. And then you pick up the tool and the tool's below the micro switch. So literally no Z probe. I need to work on my bed napping here. It doesn't go quite as far as I'd like it to, and why. And it's just some funkiness with max travel limits and the math it's doing to make sure it doesn't run into the post here. And I don't want to adjust it too quick because I'm afraid I'll run into the post. So yeah, when we go to the tool changer for the rail core, I'm going to do the same thing. We're going to have their at least Y plate, so we'll be able to use the same switch. No more BL touch. No more messing with, oh, it doesn't work with magnets. Blah blah blah. It's going to be nice. Oh, I did get it to do the last one. I forgot. I don't think it'll do one more. Maybe it will. Oh, well. Okay. See, I can't even remember what I got going. I guess I got a mapping the whole bed. Yeah, as soon as I saw how they were doing that with the switch, I was like, oh, I cannot wait for that. There we go. So I got a bed map. I posted these on the Duet forums. Wow, my bed is way out of level. I cannot print on that. How did that happen? I must have hit it pretty hard at some point. I have a maximum deviation of negative 0.7 and or a minimum deviation and 0.7 on the high side. So that's a bad thing. .4 millimeters off. What did I do? Let me check and see if I can just. Yep, it's loose. That is what I did. Actually, those bolts are as tight as I can get them. You can just push on that and adjust it. That's awesome. You know that. It's a feature, not a bug. Well, all that work I did to get the bed so level, Roy. while this is probing, I'm gonna advertise a little bit here for a buddy and for us. I don't know if you guys can see these Rail Core shirts. They're awesome. Robert at Merch Minion and his wife make them. Go check those out. They're linked out of the Facebook group, or I can provide a link. They're really cool shirts. Had to wear it for the live stream. Yeah, so you can grab that bed and move it completely out of level, which means at some point I'm sure I dropped something on it and pushed the left side down and got it all out of whack. And obviously my let's yank on one side of it and get it back into level idea is not the greatest, but hopefully I can get it close. I should reduce the number of points in this grid though. This takes too long. Yeah, this is their probing speed they sent, and I just haven't adjusted it. Obviously, I haven't tuned on this at all. Let's see here. Actually, so that's that is now a minimum of negative 0.05 and a maximum of 0.05, both on the edges. It looks like the this is a known issue they've corrected. It looks like this Y rail is bowed just a little bit. They're going to an aluminum rail. So it actually looks like if I just push down in the middle, it'd be fine. I'm not going to do that. It's good enough. The center is good. It's the edges are a little high. What else do I need to do, Roy? Oh, I needed to adjust my cleaning macro real quick. System. Nozzle scrub. I want to change it so I move to X329. No, I want to move to Y173, and then I want to move to X329. G1, Y173. That'll work for now. That's probably not the Y value I really want to move to long term, but it'll work for now. Oh, I wanted to move to a consistent Y, then move across, so I'm scrubbing. It was moving across at an angle. So I just adjusted my script so it goes straight across, then scrubs. Just so it's not moving across my print or over to pick up at an angle or whatever. So, or I guess it's coming off the tool. I wanted to go that Y and then shoot over. I think I'm just gonna hit print. One quick question, Roy. How much would you purge? I have it doing 5 millimeters before I scrub the nozzle. Is that enough? Yeah, David, that's what I did. Okay, 5 millimeters is enough. I have no idea what's going to happen here, folks, but I'm going to hit print and see if I can break things. Okay, so I've hit print. Oh, the bed wasn't up to temp. Oh, I'm not doing anywhere near 10 for that, but that's okay. It's just 5 total. Or it's 5 and then 2. Something like that. Wow, that's too slow. Okay, there we go. Okay, here we go, guys. I'll move this down so you can see. Hopefully. Is the noise too bad? It's actually printing. There's like filament on glass. It's not sticking, but it's printing. It's just bare glass. I didn't put anything on it. I have some of the Magic Goo stuff around here I could try. So yeah, it did the skirt, right? For a second I thought it did the skirt around the whole, or around each individual cube. Like I said, my slicer preparation for this was about 3 minutes of work. Hey, it dropped off full 0. Okay, I heard that one click when it pulled off the dock, so I'm gonna later do the alignment. My skirt didn't stick whatsoever. This one has no filament coming out whatsoever. Nothing at all. So I need to increase the amount I'm purging there. Yeah, they just sat there and drooled. It didn't print anything on that one. The gold looks like it was a little close. No shocker since I haven't dialed that in at all. Yep, nothing here either. Nope, no filament. I was hoping to get a little bit out of each, maybe. I need to add a lift. Whoop. That was not a good sound. Yeah. Okay, I have a lift somewhere and not a lower. So I just ram that tool into the glass and cancel. Gonna move in Z. That might have been the problem with all of them, actually. I got to check my macros. It may have been printing on the glass for all of them. I appear to have a lift in one of my macros, or multiple macros. Oh, it faulted all of my tools. That is definitely part of it. 1, 2, and 3 all faulted, Roy. Don't know. I'm looking. Nothing in the log. Nothing on the console. But their temps are all -1 now. Could be something about my slice profile. Let me look at the G code. While I'm looking at that, I'm going to go ahead and run my set temp macro and see if it can correct those. Okay, let's see. Yeah, there's an error in the G code. Told you I sliced it too fast. Thankfully, I can fix it. Just a profile setting from. No problem, Roy. Instead of priming, I'm just going to increase how much I purge there, and I've got to hunt down why it was raising the bed each time. So I'm going to look at just look at 3 because I know it did it. T post 3. So if you're not familiar with Duet tool changing scripts, there's a pre, a post, and a free. So before you grab a script that runs a pre, most people just leave pre blank. You go over, you run the post. During the post script, you actually run the command to go get the tool. And then when you drop off the tool, you run T free, and it goes over and drops it off. So I'm just looking through these to see if I have a Z command. Anywhere. Nothing in post. Okay. How about in free? They're all commented out. My heights were definitely wrong. Well, what we can do in Home Z, So I'm going to go ahead and home all. Just to be sure, I got to get it home because it's been a little bit. Hey Ryan, it's definitely fun. What I'm going to do, I'm going to home Z. I'm going to pick up the tools one at a time. So I'm going to run T0. I'm going to do a G1. G1 X 150 Y 100 Z 5. Okay. I'm going to draw it down and do a paper test. I didn't do this. I know there's probably filament leaking. There is, but I should be able to do at least get an idea. Okay, so that is dead on. What I want. I'm going to move up. I'm going to do T1 here. And now I'm going to run my, go to Z5 again. And do a paper test. Might be a slight bit off, but I'm high if anything, so that's fine. Grab T2. That was spot on. Huh. 3. I'm not seeing why it would get lower. That was definitely not a clean pickup. But it picked it up. Yeah, that one's spot on too. but I am positive that that crank got too low. What could it be here, guys? I know it wasn't driving filament into the tools because they faulted out on temperature. That's all that was. But why was it getting too low? Gotta be something in the G code, right? Let me look. Not seeing anything. You know what? Let's try and print again. What's worse that can happen? I need to change how much I purge just a bit. Well, it might be fine. Actually, it probably is because it was just the tool's fault. Gonna print. They're still around. How many people do we have? We have 18 people watching. It's not bad. Okay. Purge. No, I need to purge more. I'm gonna go ahead and pause it. Gonna change that to 10 millimeters on each one. It thinks it's scrubbing the tool. I'll do a T-1. I'm gonna drop that off. System nozzle scrub. And I'm going to change my E5 to an E10. Save. There we go. Still didn't see any filament come out. Oh, that's great. My temps are good. It's putting there. Let's see, while that's printing, I'm going to adjust the nozzle scrub strip again. Made a 15. What I want to watch here is what the Z height is when it grabs the next tool. There we go. Now we purchase the filament. If only it stuck to the glass. So that didn't stick at all, but otherwise, we're close. That's just making a mess. Look at that. There's filament in 2 colors. My first multicolor print. Okay. I'm going to put height was really pretty good on both of those. I'm going to put a little magic glue on it. I've heard good things about this stuff. It seemed to work for my Sun Delta that's right here. Anybody use this stuff, paper towel or something, or how do you apply it? I don't even know. See, it probably says. Tear open, squeeze on the build plate, spread to cover active build area and wipe up excess. Yes, I need a paper towel. Be right back. I'm pretty close, yeah. I had filament coming out of 2 nozzles, so that's a really good sign compared to where I was earlier. So I've heard wonderful things about this Magic Goo stuff. I don't know if you're supposed to put it on hot, it doesn't really say. I'm using a package to spread it around, because why not? It's more than enough for what I'm doing here. But I'm going to be optimistic that I'll be printing for real soon and need this whole bed coated. Kind of. Okay. Just brush up some extra, spread it around a little, share the love. There we go. Cool. I've heard really good things about it, so I'm gonna see if I can. What is this one? It's kind of funny. This nozzle is drooling onto a spool of itself. Same filament. So we're gonna cancel this job. Drop off that tool. And then I'm just going to print again. Shouldn't need to change anything else. Yeah, I know CNC's big fans of the Magic Goo. And if they like something, it's a pretty good sign that it's a good product. So I'm definitely getting some drool when I move back. This is completely coated already in filament, so I've got some work to do on the cleaning and stuff, and the move to and from the print seems awfully slow. That is sticking really nice, so that's good news. Height looks good. I don't know if you guys can see, but looks like it's printing pretty well. So you can see the tool changes definitely add some time to the print. Even though you're just purging and cleaning. Oh yeah, that's printing better now. Once it's printed this and it goes to drop off the tool, I will move the camera real quick and show you the top-down view. But I got a 2-color print going. So Magic Goo seems good. Atomic Filament gave me those samples, so thanks Atomic. Look at that. Okay, so I'm a little high for sure. My alignment looks pretty close. That second nozzle was high, so my offset needs work. Not a big deal, not a big surprise. Oh, I know what that sound was. I think I ran right over the skirt. Yeah, I ran right over the previous layer. It tore up a bunch of the white filament when it just moved over. That's what that sound was earlier. Not sure how you get your slicer to move back and then down or something instead of shooting straight over to the left. Yeah, you can see. So it moved over the white filament and just tore it off the bed, tore the skirt through it. So that's no good. The blue had drooled too much and still didn't get the outer outline. So could have used a little more filament. Yeah, I'm sure configuring a Z-hop in the tool change is pretty easy. I know how to do it in S3D, which is what I used for this. I only used S3D because it's how I know to do multicolor, and I didn't have any time. I do not plan to stick with S3D as a slicer. It was just the quickest way. I ran out of time, and I knew I could get it done. So I'm going to just stop it after this first layer because the second layer is not going to work. Okay, so it started the second layer then. Pretend scrub on something that's not even there. Move up and see. And we'll undock. Okay, so I didn't totally break anything. I have a little work to do. Move the camera here. I can't see what the camera's pointing at. So it's ugly, but there's four colors of PLA. Obviously a lot of work to do, but most of it is in the slicer. My height was a little off. I need to purge a little more. The blue didn't purge until it was past its outline. The white was actually pretty good until it got hit by the nozzle when it printed the blue. The green the nozzle looks a little high. It's actually high in one part and low in the other. I don't know what happened there. Might be from hitting the skirt here. Oh, hey, 60 Celsius is kind of warm. Overall, though, it's not terrible. Could be worse. So, yeah, I think I'm good with that result. It's a long way from where it was a week ago. Thanks again, Roy, for all the help with that. Really, really appreciate it. There we go. I'll save that for someone. I'll bring it to Earth or something if I come and someone can have my first multicolor print. I'll give it to you, Roy, as a free gift for helping me. Bits of filament all over the place here. All right. So I've got a little bit of work to do.
perfect, really. I'll get you something a little better than that if I make it early. Obviously got some work to do, mostly just adding a Z-hop in the slicer I think would take care of the major issue, and then working on the purge, especially since the standby temperature isn't working because M116 doesn't work, is a major thing. So I'm just using filament everywhere while I'm printing in other colors. My cleaning station here is a terrible mess, but that was hacked together in like, what, 5 minutes this afternoon. So it's actually the one Greg designed, and then I took some shears to it and cut it in half. Used some zip ties and a broken scrub brush, and there's actually a belt retainer from a rail core part in there as well to make that work. So yeah, that could be better. I'm not totally convinced I have the filament feeding in great, but it didn't, none of the spools fell off or anything, so that's probably a good sign. Yeah, I'm happy. It's not a complete, resounding, perfect first print, but it's about what I expected. What questions can I answer about the ToolChanger or the rail core before I shut this down tonight? So I got 17 people out there. I'm sure some have questions. I'll give you a little tour of my hobby room here while you guys think of a question. So here is the No Stock Max. That is my first printer. It has some awesome bar clamps holding the top together right now. Electronics hanging out. It actually is pretty functional despite the way it looks. Just having some issues with the Duet smart sensor, smart effector, dialing that in. Got the E3D ToolChanger, and above it I have all my, or not all, a bunch of my prints that I like to take to shows and that kind of thing. Some are more sentimental than good, but lots of prints up there. I'm a terrible person for making messes. No official ETA on the generic universal ToolChanger. However, Greg did show me a preview of what it might look like and asked for feedback. So that's good progress. It means he's modeling it, and I know somewhat the direction he's going to go. The configuration for the Duet for the ToolChanger, yeah, that's all provided by E3D. The macros and scripts and everything, you're going to have to jump in and do a lot of tuning on, especially in the beginning. Even the production one, don't expect to build it, run the scripts, and have it just work. You're going to go through the same stuff I did tonight. So that's actually my second rail core there. This is the one I built from leftover parts from the first one. And it is now supposed to at least be my workhorse of a printer. I still take it apart fairly regularly, but it is the one that's working now. That is my original rail core. It's gone through more changes than I could possibly count. Right now it has, I don't know, 20 probably unique parts on it that aren't on any other rail core out there. Probably the most unique are the LDO steppers with integrated lead screws. Those are pretty nice. Custom from Jason at LDO for testing. The biggest thing I would say on those two rail cores is they have the LDO extruder stepper. I love the thing. Great add. Let's see, right now I have, that has the LBO XY steppers on it. I do have moons. They're on the shelf there somewhere, should be. Oh, they're down below here. on the shelf. Been testing those and comparing LDO and moons lately. So the ball in the tool plate is press fit in from the back. So if you look on the, it's hard to show you, so that's the front of the plate there. My camera won't focus. Anyway, on the back of the plate there are holes drilled. They put the ball in and then they press fit the aluminum bit into the back to hold the ball bearing in place. On the tool changer itself, this locking pin, there's a screw that goes in the end of that shaft that holds it in. Second rail core, Leo, you're awesome. I hope you're enjoying them as much as I enjoy mine. Up here are my kind of showcase prints. These are the ones I take to shows more often and things like that, as well as my collection of spiral cubes, which I love that print. Let's see what else I have. That cabinet is filled with board games, which is another hobby of mine. That corner back there, I don't know if you can see it, that's where my imaging telescope resides right now. I need to get back out and do that hobby. The cases on the bottom of those shelves are all full of telescope parts. Swinging around here, I've got that whole thing there. There's the laptop that I'm streaming this off of. That is all gaming tiles for board games. Over here, I've got stacks of filament. Those bins are full of filament. That container is full of gaming tiles that I have yet to paint. And then those are also full of filament down there. And then that's just miscellaneous junk up there. So that's the tour of my hobby room, is where the rail core always gets worked on and that kind of thing. So we'll put that there. What else do you guys want to know? Tool changer questions, rail core questions, rail core tool changer questions, hot end of choice. So that's the other thing I'm testing on the rail core you see there. That has a Mosquito Magnum on it right now. Thank you, Slice Engineering, for letting me test that. I normally print, honestly, with the Bondtech extruder E3D V6. That's what every print on my shelves right now has been printed on. I just put the Mosquito one on 2 weeks ago. I do not have enough feedback on the Mosquito to tell you how much I like it or not. So far, my initial opinion of it is, if it had a sock, I would be hard pressed to come up with a reason to put a V6 or a Volcano back on that printer. But that's just initial testing results. Without a sock, I get the usual frustration: stuff sticks to the block, temperatures drop a little faster than I want, and you get that blowback thing where you're cooling the part, it blows back off the part, hits the block, and overcools the block sometimes, and then undercools it other times, and I see whiffs of filament and things like that from it. I think they're coming out with a solution for a sock for the Mosquito, and at that point, my opinion of it will be very positive. Everything I've printed with it has been good. Just all the usual radiant heat, all that kind of stuff. If you plan on enclosing your rail core and you're only going to print ABS temps or higher, I would say the Mosquito all the way, even today, because most of those issues go away. For rail core, for side panels, yeah, you're going to be looking at acrylic or polycarbonate. They have their pros and cons. laser cutting versus milling, availability, cost, temperature. I couldn't say, without knowing more specifics. You're going to go, the only two options you have really are acrylic or polycarbonate. Yeah, the mosquito for the high temp stuff is great. I've had a little trouble with PLA, but PETG, the PC Plus from Snow Labs, the carbon fiber PC Plus, that stuff all flows through it like a dream. PLA is a little finicky, but I haven't had terrible problems other than the initial, right when I got it, I got a jam that basically destroyed it. And they wanted the heat break back to diagnose. It was probably user error, but they swapped out the heat break and I'm back in business. So next steps for the ToolChanger for me is obviously to get the E3D performing like it should and can. I have some, what is this stuff? This sheet that Roy suggested. It is a Teflon PTFE sheet that I can use to make a cleaning little scrubber to run against. It was like $12 for a sheet, $20 for a sheet, something like that. I don't know. So I'll make a way to scrub the nozzle on this. And you can see I got this gigantic sheet for $20. 12 by 12 sheet, 1/32 of an inch thick. So that'll be one of the next projects, and then fixing up the scripts and stuff, get this working, and then dial it in over time. See you, Tony. Thanks for joining. Once E3D finalizes the universal ToolChanger head, I'll talk a little bit more about this than I have in the past because I know what it's going to look like, and this is more final. So the E3D is more finalized. You guys have seen the aluminum plate option. I have one here for the rail core. Honestly, probably what we're going to end up with is an aluminum plate that mounts on the existing rail core Y. The universal ToolChanger coming from E3D will bolt into that plate, and you can, I'll show you from a different angle here. That plate will be plenty wide enough to encompass the ToolChanger in. You can see the plate's plenty big enough, plenty tall enough. So it's just going to bolt right onto that. The tool docks, I can confirm, will bolt right onto a 1515 rail through the halo, which is good. And you can reach those tools using RY carriage when they're mounted, because the tool sits off of the rail far enough, it'll actually clear the lead screw, which is, our primary concern is smacking that lead screw. It won't be as pretty as the E3D solution because the rail core was built and designed before the E3D started. Greg confirmed he had not started the CAD designs for the E3D ToolChanger when the rail core design was pretty much finalized, other than Z leveling. So, we're coming from behind there. We didn't know it was going to be a thing. The solution for purging and scrubbing, you're not going to fit a scrub brush. So we're going to have to get creative with purging instead. And the PTFE sheet that I was just showing is a key part of that. I have very few doubts at this point that it will work. Roy, that was in the chat tonight, he has a compact geared extruder that he was showing at Murph that we plan to put on. There's Roy.
we plan to put on the rail core as a way to work around the where to put the extruders, so that we'll do direct drive basically using a Roy solution. So the X linear rail being unsupported, definitely a question. My testing on that was to weigh the weight of one tool. Now, I don't know what your extruder weighs, but I weighed one tool, and I weighed the plate and the servo before I put any of those on. Before I installed them on my ToolChanger, I attached that weight to my rail and did before and after with it on and with it off to see if there was a difference in my Z-probe heights at any given point. Now, that's not a terribly scientific way to do it. Obviously, there's different loads, and it's a lever arm, and where the load distribution is. I had it hanging off the front of my, basically where the hot end attaches. I still had most of that on because I was kind of compensating. Anyway, long story short, I tried my best to match it with it hanging out in front of the V6. So it was acting as much as a lever as I could get it to, and perhaps more so because all the weight was concentrated in one point and higher up. I did not see any variation as far as my probe could measure. I am not convinced that's enough testing, personally, and I won't attest that that's not a problem until I do it myself. If it is a problem, we will come up with a machined aluminum reinforcement to brace that rail. That is the plan. So we've already had that discussion. We know it's a possibility. We have some thoughts around how we can attach that, or I have some thoughts on how I can attach that. I don't think it's going to be needed, but I don't know until I actually do it with the E3D ToolChanger as Greg gives it to me with your extruder up. And that all raises another point saying the configuration that I'm looking at. The ToolChanger implementation for the rail core, I'm going to quote release it, showing how I would do it. And probably the only machined part that'll come with that is that Y plate. The rest of it shouldn't need to be machined. It should all be printed parts or E3D's provided parts. I think. We'll see if that changes. But I'll release it like that as a kind of beta test with as few purchase parts as possible so that other people can test it, implement it, find a better way to do it than what I do, because I'm not convinced my way will be the best. Yeah, I'll do my best to implement it, and at that time I'll better be able to answer, does that MGM12 suffice or not? E3D, this rail here, I probed tonight. There's a bow in my bed like this. It's not a bow in my bed. This rail flexes, and it's a possibility ours does too under these circumstances. I don't know. To the best of my testing so far, no. The beta for the E3D, it is still in beta. There is no release date, although I heard a speculative date from E3D. They didn't publicly say it, so I'm not going to publicly say it because I'm not going to hold them to anything, but it's in the hopefully not too distant future. Yeah, the bigger concern of the MGM12 on the rail core is because the rail, I can take this right, because the rail is in this orientation, when you put a lever off of the front here, the rail is going to want to twist. It's going to want to bend this way. When all the mass is pointing straight down, it's one thing,
but the way that E3D universal tool changer is going to work, we can't mount this E3D system on a rail core. And it's because this servo that extends all the way through here goes right through the middle of our MGN12 block. So that causes a real problem for us. There's no way around that the way E3D has this design. So we have to wait for the universal one. From what I've seen so far on the universal one, it's going to hang entirely off of the front. So we're going to have another, I think it's 13 millimeters off of the front of this, plus this plate, plus this tool. So you're going to have this huge monstrosity hanging off the front of this rail, and it's going to want to twist this rail. This rail being in this orientation is great if all your force is going straight down. It is not great for that twisting. Okay, so let's see, my number one issue with magnet pens. Yeah, and that lever arm issue is big. So we may have to get creative. It is actually possible. I wish I had a spare carriage handy. It is actually possible to turn a rail this orientation on the rail core, but then you get a flex this way. You have less mass or less, holding it up. So I don't know. We have to see what happens. You don't want to go bigger on that rail. It adds a massive amount of weight. It's actually less weight and easier to add aluminum to the back. It is maybe possible to hang it below the rail, but you would have to hang the entire thing below and lose a ton of Z. I'm still talking to Greg about what that final version will look like of the universal, so it may change. And there may be ways we can save space with some creative milling of that plate from 713. Yeah, we'll see what it ends up like. And then, yeah, Roy, certainly, we're nowhere near the mass rating of these rails, but as we put the tool changer and stuff on and we have dynamic load, we certainly get closer to it. So, yeah, there's a lot to think about. Again, the rail core was not designed with any of this under consideration because it didn't exist. But we'll do our best to adapt it, and as I've said all along, I can't guarantee the tool changer is going to work, but I certainly will do my best to make it work. If the issue is that rail only, Misumi has some interesting options there. We can always replace just that rail with a Misumi to keep it cost effective. Yeah, Roy, it's all good. This is the discussion I'd like to have on this. And I'm honest. I'll tell you, I can't guarantee it's going to work. But yeah, we could maybe replace just our X rail with a Misumi, and they have some ways to reinforce those. We could go with 713 to reinforce it with some aluminum. There are options. It's actually possible you can bolt a piece of 1515 to the back of that and gain not only some strength, but that actually fits if you don't have a cooling fan there, which now the cooling fan is over on the tool. So that's a possibility. There's all kinds of options. We'll figure out what works and what doesn't, and adjust from there. All right, well, I've been talking for 2 hours and 7 minutes. I got one barely successful, but I'll call it successful print out of this tonight. The important thing is all the scripts and macros and everything came together and worked, which is awesome. I'm really happy about that. I've got some work to do to clean that up. And then, yeah, we're going to wait for Greg and E3D come out with the universal bits. Those will not happen in any production capacity of any sort until after the initial rollout of the production units, plus some time for them to ramp up machining of those after they've seen the production units are working as expected. So if you're holding your breath for those, you might want to take a few deep breaths because it's going to be a little while. But they are coming. And I've seen the model, so I know Greg's working on it. In the meantime, print, have fun, and yeah. Thanks everybody for joining in on this. And again, I want to say thanks, huge thanks to E3D. Greg especially has been a great help. Phyllis Schroeder, Duet, the guys at Duet are amazing. Yeah, lots of great companies have helped us out. And then again, everybody in the Railport community, you're all awesome. Thank you for being a part of it. Thank you for making it as awesome as it is. It's a lot of fun to work with all you guys. So have a good night, and thanks for watching.